So thank you all very much for coming back to watch a second interview. He's in game. This one is with the Thinktanker. I met him on the DayZ forum. We decided to meet up over here at Ball, which was the location he chose near a deer stand. So I've just logged in, I've checked he's in game, and I'm looking for him now. And I agged this zombie, so I've got to run away. And as you can see, I'm pretty well kitted out. I've got the thermals, the ghillie suit, NVGs. And there's always a worry that I could get sniped or killed, so I'm just looking for him. You know, I don't worry too much about gear anymore. If I get killed, I can just find some more. Pretty good at doing that nowadays. So I realise I'm in groups, I go to direct, get ready to call out.
Cherno Journo, is that you?
Let's see if I can get the drop on him with all of my equipment and gear.
Hey, what's up?
Where zombies are. Are you in the deer stand?
I'm actually right behind you.
Oh, okay, great. Alright. Well, I think I egged the zombie, but he doesn't seem to be following me, so that's good. Okay. So, where would you like to go?
Awesome. So yeah, I'm the Thinktanker.
Evening Thinktanker, it's a lovely starry night.
Yep, it's pretty great. Let's head up the hill here, I guess, away from here. I don't think there's too many people on the server though, so it shouldn't be too big a deal.
So, as you can see, having the best gear doesn't mean jack if you're a noob like myself, because the Thinktanker definitely got the drop on me on that one. It's probably why I play as a Journo rather than in any sort of sniper or squad. So what we do now is I set up a lovely little campfire here. We move up into the hills away from the deer stand and begin the interview with others. Alrighty, well, thank you very much to Thinktanker for taking the time and risking your life to give us the interview.
Not a problem at all. I actually think that this is a super cool project, first of all. And I'm glad that you're making a YouTube channel out of it, because when I heard about the idea, that was the first thing that popped into my head. This would be a perfect YouTube channel. So I think it's a fantastic idea.
Thanks, mate. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Maybe if you can start just telling me, how long have you been playing DayZ for? Has it been a while?
Well, I've been playing DayZ for probably about a month. And my first murder actually happened, I think, day 3, something like that. And I wanted to play DayZ mainly because I'd heard on Rock Paper Shotgun and a lot of places online about all of the really amazing types of stories that people could tell. The idea of the open sandbox game in DayZ allows people to do some really crazy cool stuff. You hang out with randoms, you know, you find friendlies and do stuff with people that you don't know, and that really appealed to me because I thought it would be a really unique experience for a video game. So I got on thinking that actually was the norm, and of course you find that that is not the norm. That at this point in the mod's development, pretty much everybody will shoot on sight, or everybody that I'd met like the first few days will shoot on sight, and I'm going to admit I was extremely bitter. I'd gone into churches and, you know, saluted. I'd talked to people over direct chat, told them I'm friendly, and every single person had gunned me down. And I was like, this is not the DayZ experience I was promised! So, it was really frustrating. And so I think it was day 3 or 4 that I was playing, and I was getting pretty bitter about the game. And what happened was I decided I was going to just run into Cherno, and I was going to gear up, and I would get to the north, and I thought, okay, there are probably a lot more nicer players up in the north, you know, the people who want to do shoot on sight and just grief newbies on the beach. Those guys are going to stay towards the coast, and people who just want to survive out in the woods, who want to do fun things, build civilization, you know, those people are going to be up in the north, and that was what I told myself. So I figured that was what I was going to do. I would gear up, and I would head out. I would head up to the north. And as I had, I think I'd run through what it was. Oh yeah, I was right outside the grocery store. I was right outside the grocery store in Cherno. I'd armed myself with a very, you know, a revolver and an axe, and I was just crawling along when I saw another player. And the amazing thing was, they did not see me. And they were just crawling along right out in the middle of the open, just crawling across the street. I think they were trying to keep the Z off of them and everything. And it was just this magical moment where I thought, for once, I found a player, they have not seen me, and in my head it just kind of clicked and I said, I can get the drop on them. And all that bitterness kind of welled up inside me and told me, go for it. Everybody that you have met has killed you on sight. Everybody that you have dealt with has betrayed you. This is the rule. This is the game. Survival at any cost. And so, with kind of shaking hands, I pulled out my revolver and I took a few shots at him and missed horribly. I missed completely. I think I was in third person. It was terrible. But I missed so bad that I think that the guy who was not 10 feet away from me, crawling across the street towards this bush, I think that he thought someone else in the city was shooting because I shot so badly. So, I realize I'm out of ammunition, and he still has no idea that I'm here. And so I'm like, it's now or never. And I pull out my hatchet, and I ready it on my shoulder, and I dash forward, and I start hacking away at him. I killed him with a hatchet, and he turned around, and he's able to fire off a few shots at me, and put me in shock. I lost quite a bit of blood, and I'm sitting here shaking, like literally shaking at my computer, thinking, holy crap, I just killed this person. I just totally I did it. The first thought was, I did it. The second thought was, holy crap, that gun is loud, there's going to be a lot of zombies. So I tried to loot his body real quick, and he had blood bags, which at this point in the game I'd never seen. He had an AKM, which I'm like, that's great, I need a really nice rifle now, and I thought that I was set for life. And I think 2 minutes later, because I had never fired the AKM before, because I'd never done really anything with any higher level weaponry in the game, I was immediately killed by zombies, not 3 minutes later. The horde that his shots drew to his position, and then me just shooting at pretty much anything as I tried to get out of Cherno. It was an absolute disaster. And so all of the loot that I had just killed for was completely lost within 3 minutes. And I stepped away from the game visibly shaken. Like it really, really affected me. That night I could not sleep. And the next day at work I could not focus on anything. All I could think about was the fact that in a very real way, something that very really clicked in my head, I had committed a murder. That someone in the game had, it obviously wasn't a real murder, but he had a really terrible day because he'd found a nice bunch of stuff, and then some psycho with an axe came and chopped him in half. And I just sat there thinking all day, and I've never had a video game, killing someone in a video game ever affect me this profoundly. I couldn't focus on anything. All I could think about was what it would feel like to be someone just crawling along, and then out of nowhere, some madman with an axe just breaking you in half, severing your spine, crushing your skull, and then I realized, what kind of psycho would do that? And the psycho was me. I felt this extreme amount of guilt over what I'd done, that with no provocation, without trying to find out his intentions, just based on the loot he had on him and the fact I had the drop on him, I killed another player. And it profoundly affected me, to the point where I decided, after a day of literally agonizing over thinking about what I'd done, literally just sitting there and unable to focus on anything else, it compelled me to get back into the game and to find a way to atone for my actions. Now, I never knew the player's name, so I couldn't find him on the forums or anything, and I didn't know, honestly, I wasn't a part of the forums, I didn't know anything, but I know that I can never really atone for what I did to that one player, but it has affected my playstyle ever since. That murder has because I felt so conflicted and so just completely affected by the murder that I committed, I do not shoot on sight. Now I will I'll defend myself, but I have decided in DayZ for the rest of the time that I play, I will never do that again. I will never kill a player that's helpless. A bandit, maybe I'll just let him go. But I can never. I've been so affected by it that I can't kill another player. Yep, and there goes our campfire. So I guess. But yeah, I think that's my experience, and it was.
So you
it's
say
something
now
that has led me to.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
No, you go, and then I'll ask.
Oh, it's just something that's interesting. DayZ is a very special game because it can evoke that kind of feeling from you. I mean, I've murdered millions of people. I've killed millions of things in video games, you know, but I've never felt like I've committed an actual crime. I've never felt like I've ever really done something wrong. And it wasn't until DayZ, when I was a madman with an axe who killed some helpless person without saluting, without talking to him, without trying to find out anything. I killed someone on sight with an axe, which is gotta be a terrible way to die. It's gotta be a terrible, terrible way to die. It wasn't until that moment until I really, really felt guilty for it. And I think that's something very special to a game is very special if it can evoke that emotion from any player at all. I think that's just absolutely fantastic.
Actually, the think tank and I, we stayed and we chatted for a while about a lot of different themes about DayZ. As you can see, it's raining when he eventually dances off into the distance. And I was thinking that this is what DayZ is all about. People like the Thinktanker who take the game seriously, who enjoy it, and who have decided to make it more than just another FPS deathmatch. Thank you very much for watching. This is the ChernoJourno out.